Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Crumb picking, lip licking gingerbread. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Da ba ba dee doo ba doo ba doo be doo. Doo ba doo ba dee doo ba doo ba doo be doo. Fresh out of the pan, sweet gingerbread man. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card readings. Come on in, make yourself at home. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and I will be your shaman for the evening. Come on in. If you're new here, what we do is the first 6 people to come on and put yes in the comments get a 1-card reading. So we've already got Joe and Roulette and Valerie. So far just the 3. So if you're, like I said, if you're new here, come on in. If you want to, I've got 3 spots left. If you want a quick 1-card reading with a medicine card deck, you can say yes in the comments. And the only thing I ask in return is that you please share this video. That's my cover charge, is to share the video. So. Do-do-ba-do-ba-dee-do-ba-do. All right. I wonder where everybody is. We've only got a few people on. Okay, so we might as well get started. Thank you for joining me. Happy Monday. Monday tends to be my catching up and relaxing day. So, oh, here come some people. So we have 3 spots left. If anybody who hasn't already wants a 1-card reading with the medicine card deck, all you need to do is post yes in the comments. And if you're not one of the first 6, I always tell people to choose a number between 1 and 6, or a couple of numbers, or all the numbers, and just pay attention to that card, and I promise that your message will be interwoven with the message for whoever else that card is a reading for. So, anyway, let's get started, because I do tend to be long-winded, and let's just see how it goes. So, all right, Joe, my friend, you are up first. All right. Joe, you got the weasel in reverse. Weasel in reverse, in a nutshell, is overthinking things. It's basically the hamster wheel, right? Okay, a number more people came in. We're still accepting. There's still 3 spots left. All you need to do to get a 1-card reading is say yes in the comments. So Joe, the message here is that you are not the one who needs to hold things together, all right? Weasels have one of the quickest metabolisms, and so they are non-stop. They are like always moving. Kind of like that thing like they used to say with sharks, how if they stop moving, they'll die. It's kind of almost the same thing with weasel, but it's just that they have so much energy that they need to keep moving. And so because of that, they are everywhere. They know their territory. There isn't a part of their territory that they have not been in. So I'm hoping I'm getting all the comments. There's like 7 people on now, and I haven't gotten any comments beyond the first few. So let me know if you want a reading. So in other words, so Weasel has been everywhere in his territory, right? He knows every inch of that territory. And in reverse, it's like he doesn't trust himself. He doesn't give himself credit for what he knows. Even though he knows his territory, if something is needed, he knows exactly where to go in that territory to get it. He's kind of like, think of him as kind of the old-fashioned telephone switchboard person, right? He's like, he knows exactly where the connections are. He knows how to get where he's going the quickest, easiest way when he trusts himself, okay? Hey, Emerald, you are on. And anyone else coming in, all you need to do is say yes in the comments to get a 1-card reading. And we have 2 spots left so far. So, Joe, it's like remembering that. So the card number 1, for anyone who's following by the numbers, is Weasel in reverse. It's interesting, too, that the number is 33, which is a master number, an angel number, which fits it because it's like remembering your mastery, remembering that you are a master. Was telling you that earlier, Joe. Alignment is more important than what you like. And I experience this all the time. It's like I'll get anxious about something, or I start getting overwhelmed with something, and it's like, okay, what do I have to do first? But I haven't meditated yet. No, I need to get these things done. And it's like we overstep the necessary first step, which is alignment. Because once you're aligned, then, like for me, it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, that thing isn't that important. Or that thing isn't important. That thing can wait until tomorrow. And you just, when you're in alignment, number 1, you don't have the hamster wheel going. You're more focused. You're more centered. And when you move from that place of alignment, everything you do is inspired action, right? Inspirited action. It's like you're in spirit. You're aligned with spirit. So everything you do is exponentially that much more powerful. Like Abraham Hicks says, like, one person in alignment is more powerful than 1 million people who aren't in alignment. So, heart first, brain second, okay? Meditate, focus, center, align. That's your first job. Then you can get into your head and decide what needs to happen, right? Because when you're running around like that whirlwind, you're not actually accomplishing anything. All you're doing is rearranging boxes. There's no real change going on. There's no real progress. But when you come in alignment, then it's not just your physical actions that are, how do I want to say this? Then there's more than just your physical actions at work. Then your energy is, because you're in alignment physically, spiritually, energetically. So as you're doing things physically, your energy is in alignment with what you're doing. And so not only are you affecting the physical reality in front of you, you are transmuting the energy of that situation as well, energetically. Okay? And like my teacher, Sandra Ingerman, says, it's not what you do, but who you become that heals the earth. It's not what you do, but who you become that changes the world. So, and believe me, I have kind of a weasel brain, because the thing is, like, people like us, kind of that introverted person that needs space, that needs time alone and all of that kind of stuff. Part of the reason we need that space is because it's not because we're slower, not because your brain works slower than other people's. You know, it's like people ask you a question and you can't actually answer them right away because you have to process, because your brain, you're taking in so much more data than just the words that are coming at you. You're seeing the micro expressions. You're feeling the energy of the person, the emotions, the sounds around you. You're like, your brain actually works faster, but because you're aware of so much more than just what's going on, that takes more time to process it, right? And so if we don't have that centeredness, if we don't have that alignment, then we're just running back and forth from one task to the next task to the next task, right? And not really getting anything done. And the thing I've been reminding myself lately is that my purpose in life, your purpose in life, is joy. You are meant to enjoy yourself. And joy is our compass. It's like to keep doing the things where we find joy, where we find enjoyment, where we find empowerment. That is the universe's guide to let you know that you are going in the right direction. So if you're not feeling good, and I don't mean sick, I mean if something doesn't feel right, breathe, align. Just say, oh, I'm sorry, give me a 5-minute breather or something, and go and sit. And if it doesn't feel right to you, it automatically is not right for anybody else. Okay? If you feel begrudging, like if you're doing something for someone else and you're feeling begrudgingly to do it, and you don't want to do it, and it's like I just heard someone talking today about it. It's like that kid, like trying to drag that kid with you in the grocery store that's having a meltdown, right? If you feel like that, if someone asks you to do something and that's the way it feels, then say no, because you are not, again, you're not in alignment. Whatever that is not in alignment with who you are. So to do so anyway is to push through your own it's to deny your own well-being for the seeming well-being of someone else. But the thing is, your well-being is intimately connected to everyone else's well-being. If it's not for your highest well-being, it's not for anyone else's. Someone else's well-being cannot be to the detriment of your own. So listen to your heart and trust. It's also about listening to your intuition. It's listening to those messages coming in and trusting them. You don't have to be running helter-skelter everywhere to try to fulfill some mission or something. Once you breathe, once you align and you open up for that intuitive nudge, then you know exactly where to go. And it's effortless. Then you have plenty of energy to do it. The energy, because it's in alignment, it supports you. It draws you forward. Otherwise, you're trying to push through something that shouldn't be pushed through. You're trying to, it's the difference between force and power. You can't force something. But when you're empowered, it's effortless might be a misleading word because there still might be effort, and elbow grease involved. But the energy is there to carry you and support you in doing those things. Does that make sense? So give yourself a break and know that the most important priority for you is to feel good, is to feel joy. All right? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I saw there's a few more people came on. There's 2 spots left if someone would like a 1-card reading. Like last week, it just went ching, 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 and just filled up right like within the first minute. And today we have 2 more spots if anybody would like them. Good. I'm glad it makes sense to you, Joe. You are the most important person, the most important thing in your life. No one else, nothing else is more important than you. So, all right, roulette. All right. Maybe we'll have a short session tonight. Feel like I'm made out of gingerbread. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. I've started listening to Christmas music already. 'Cause I need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinet. Yes, I need a little Christmas right this very minute. I need a little Christmas now. So there. And I lose a couple of viewers. That's really funny. I'm sure they weren't connected, but there's a couple less viewers right now than there were when I started. All right, roulette. Let's see who's going to come and walk with you this week. All right. Roulette, you got wolf in reverse. Interestingly enough, it's very similar to the message for Joe about not forcing, letting yourself, if something is not authentic to you, how do I put this? Then it's not worthwhile. You guys are still here. Yay. Wolf is similar. Wolf, for you, I would talk about, so with the wolf card, you know, canines are seen majority of the time as masculine, right? Whereas felines tend to be female, feminine. And so we have wolf, who is the masculine, divine masculine, but wolf gets his power from Grandmother Moon, the divine feminine. And so in reverse, there can be an imbalance between your inner masculine and inner feminine. You know, it's like you're at odds inside, kind of like trying to hash things out, rather than working in harmony. And again, kind of like Joe's reading, alignment is the first rule of order. Like even in the Bible, Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom, right? And the kingdom is within you, right? So it's like, before you do anything outwardly, it's like connect inward, connect to your heart. That's where the truth is. That's where you live. That's who you are, okay? And when wolf is connected inward, it's the divine feminine. It's like the mother goddess. And it's the feminine energy, the feminine power that is the creatrix, which is the all-encompassing, all that is, the Tao, it's creation. She is the creator, source, right? And wolf is the masculine in that he embodies that feminine. He takes the inspiration that comes to him intuitively from creator, from the feminine, and then he makes manifest that intuition. So it's not that one is greater than the other, one's the master and one's the slave, but it's like wolf takes the nebulous unseen, brings it into the physical to make it seen. So my guides are saying that it actually would help. This is optional homework, but it would actually help to go outside and howl at the moon. It's like, allow your feral self to come forward. The wild, untamed, primitive self. It's like we're so afraid of that wild thing, right? Because we have to live in it. You know, we tend to, again, it's this one or the other. It's either or. But the answer is that it's a both and. The physical world is an expression of the spiritual world. They're not opposed to each other. One isn't more important than the other. The physical world is just at a frequency where things, from our perspective anyway, are solid because it's vibrating at the same rate that we are. And so tabletops, things seem solid. But these solid things are actually 99% space. There's nothing really to them. It's all energy. So there is nothing to the physical, the spiritual that need to be opposed. There's nothing, the masculine and the feminine that need, there is no battle of the sexes, okay? Number one, we have all been every possible spectrum gender that there is through past lives, future lives. You know, Creator has no gender. It's whole, right? But we have this masculine and feminine relationship, the energies that work in harmony. It's the yin-yang. And the feminine is the inspiration, the void where all things exist. And the masculine is what brings things out of that pure potentiality into manifestation. That's wolf. Is that hitting home, Roulette? So, and there's that book, and I haven't read it yet. I for years it's been on my reading list, The Women Who Run with the Wolves. But it also reminds me of Artemis, the goddess of the wilderness, the virgin goddess. She is my matron goddess. She has been calling to me since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And when I say the thing like women who run with the wolves, the first thing I think of is Artemis, because the wolves, she's the huntress, hunting with the wolves with her dogs. And instead of it being this black and white thing, explore the beautiful nuances and the rainbow threads that run through and together, and one doesn't define the other, but they work together. Wow, you had a dream with a wolf and a raven last night. Awesome. So, the other thing with wolf is the teacher. Not so much as, being the professor in charge of the class, but because the wolf pack always has scouts that run out ahead of the pack to get the lay of the land, to find out what's ahead of them. And so when wolf comes up, when wolf is one of your power animals or totems, because you're on the leading edge, part of the reason that you have never fit in is that you've always been ahead of the curve. You're before your own time. Kind of like what I was saying with Weasel, with Joe. It is not that your brain works slower than others, it's that your brain works faster than others, right? And so, what was I saying? It totally went... Oh, but you're on the leading edge. You are an explorer. The things that you are doing, the things that you are called to do, fulfilling your dreams, is necessarily how do I put this? It's a solitary thing. It's like the lone wolf. But in actuality, there is no such thing as a lone wolf. Wolves are pack animals. If there's a lone wolf, there's a reason. It's either rogue or it's been kicked out of the pack, it's sick or whatever. So the lone wolves are the one that run ahead and then come back to the pack to teach them what lies ahead. They're the ones that have the courage to head out alone ahead so that they can get the lay of the land, so they can come back and let the pack know what is the safest path to go forward. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so again, it's like, go howl at the moon. And I know it's probably not visible. I'm not sure even what status it's in. I know we're coming on to the new moon. And it's raining outside, but go howl at the moon. Let those primitive feelings come out, just sing to the moon. Sing those feelings, that primitive, wild, unfettered, feral self come out. You know, and that might be part of the balancing that's needed with Wolf coming up. It's like you're feeling too impinged. It's like having to hold yourself too tightly to the expectations of the world, to the expectations of the workplace, whatever, all these rules and regulations, right? And yes, become Fenrir. And you need that unloosening of the bounds, the unloosening. Yeah, be Fenris and break those shackles, right? Bring on Ragnarok. Anyway, so be wild. Let the wild part of you out, okay? All right. So for anyone new that's coming on, I see we've got a few new people. There are still 2 places left. If you would like a 1-card reading, all you need to do is say yes in the comments, and we will see to that. And for anyone who doesn't, wants to just watch or whatever, oh, hey, Sherry, you are on the list. 1 more spot left. You can just choose a number 1 through 6. We're coming up on number 3 now. So I hope that was helpful. Oh, hey, Nadia. Yay. All right. So our 6 spots have been spoken for. So if you're not one of those 6, just choose a number. You're so welcome, Joe. Choose a number 1 through 6. We already did 1 and 2. So we're on number 3. And if just listen to, well, I always tell people too to listen to every card anyway, because every card is going to have a little bit of something for everybody. Something is going to resonate. So if you find your ears picking up for something, Roulette's already outside howling. And all the neighborhood dogs are returning the howl. It reminds me of that scene from 101 Dalmatians. Awesome. Awesome. All right, Valerie. Valerie is number 3. Still feeling a little jet lagged from the whole time clock setting back thing. It always throws me. So if I'm not as peppy as I usually am, that's why. All right, Valerie. They're all coming up reversed. Yeah, the Twilight Bart and 101 Dalmatians. Cards are all coming up reversed tonight, which is not a bad thing. Reverse just means actually it's easier to do a reading with the cards that are reversed than the ones that are upright, because it's like the reversed ones give you something to stand on to move forward. It gives you direction on what needs attention. And so Valerie with mouse reversed, the general message is don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Keep it simple. Again, it's like, I love the thread, like every week there's some thread that runs through every card. And with mouse in reverse, it's like, again, stop overthinking things, stop borrowing trouble. Like, oh, what is that? I've got it up on my bathroom mirror. I've got a card of something about how worrying doesn't add, how does that go? Worrying doesn't add strength to tomorrow. It only steals strength from today. Something like that. Again, I am not the best person with quotes. I can tell you, like, in a ballpark, roundabout way what they are. But anyway, it's like, don't borrow trouble from tomorrow, right? If the whole thing is about staying present, right? When you are meditating, when you are coming into alignment, like I was talking about earlier, you're here now. There is no yesterday. There is no tomorrow. There is no 5 minutes from now. It's all about this moment now, right? And the more we can bring that into our physical lives, our everyday walking around this world lives, the better. And it's to remember that this reminds me of a anecdote I heard from Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he was going for his morning walk or something, and he was coming through this parking lot, and a woman had been locked out of her car, and she the keys were in the ignition, she couldn't get in, and he was like, well, can I help you? And she told him the thing. And he was like, okay, every situation has everything that you need. You are never without the tools to do what you need to do. And so he just kind of looked around, and there was a stick. And I don't remember exactly, this was years ago, I don't remember all the details. But the stick was perfect. It was like the perfect length, the perfect shape to be able to get in and to pop the lock. And it's like, no matter where you are, you have everything you need to be complete in that moment. So you don't have to worry about if you're going to have the right tools. It's like Kyle Cease talks about this, where it's like you're in second grade and you're worrying about having all the things you need when you get to the fourth grade. It's like, go through second grade first. Know that you have everything you need to get through this class. All the tools, all the teachings, all the support you need is there. And if you're worrying about what's going to happen in fourth grade, then you're just expending energy that is weakening you, is making you feel less empowered and anxious about things that will be taken care of in their time. So focus on now, focus on this day. I used to, in college, I went to school at there was like a men's college and a women's college. And they were both monasteries. One was the Benedictine monk, and the other one was the Benedictine nuns. And so, but we had classes at each other's campuses. So it was St. Ben's and St. John's. And so it was the Benny bus that took us back and forth. And I remember in college coming to the point where I was like, it's like Benny bus mind. Like, once I'm on the Benny bus, I have everything I need. If I'm missing something, we'll deal with it. If I forgot my homework, if I forgot something else, there's nothing I can do about it now. And when it comes to that place, we will deal with it. But it's not worth the extra energy to worry or to be afraid or to be anxious. Does that make sense? You're always in the right place at the right time. You can't be otherwise. And even if it seems like you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, The universe will use whatever is in front of you to bring you home. It's like if you think of your life as a video game, right? And you're going through these levels, there's always enough money or rupees or whatever the thing is in the game. There's always enough, like if you run out of ammo, there's always a way to get more ammo. You're never left high and dry, right? And I mean, that's even a theory. Some people say that this whole world is a simulation, that we're living in a video game. And so you have everything you need in every moment. You are never left without. You are complete in every moment. You are whole in every moment. There is nothing you need that isn't provided. It's not always easy to remember that. I still have trouble remembering that. But mouse doesn't worry about the cat next door, right? The mouse doesn't worry about what's going on the other side of the planet. Mouse's world is very small, and all the best thing you can do for the highest good of everyone, of the big picture, is to take care of your little bubble of reality within that bigger picture. That's your only responsibility. And again, as I've been saying throughout tonight, your only responsibility is joy, following your joy. Finding what it is that brings you joy, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel empowered. That is your only responsibility in every moment. Okay? So I hope that helps. All right, Amaral. Card number 4 for those who are counting by numbers tonight. I think I'm going to be going to bed early tonight. I am exhausted for some reason. This whole weekend was exhausting. Yes, to be present. When you're present, you're open-minded. You're looking at possibilities rather than problems. You know, fear and anxiety is stuck in the future. Guilt is stuck in the past. In the present, those things do not exist. When you are fully present, there is nothing you need at any moment. All right, Emerald. All right. Haha, the first upright card of the night. Emerald, you got Jaguar, which I know you've gotten before, and we've talked about that. Dude, it's like you are so on par with where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. It's crazy. You know, Jaguar is about integrity. So, number 1, it's about being in alignment, kind of the theme of the night. Being in alignment with yourself, being present with yourself, walking your talk. There's like when Jaguar sees a prey, it's instantaneous. There is no discussion between heart and mind, right? It's like, padoom, and he's gone, right? There's no questioning. Jaguar, so that integrity is, there's no pretense. There's no wasted energy on image or pretense or worrying about what they look like or who they appear to be to others or whatever. They just are who they are. They're pure, authentic, right? And the other, number 2, integrity is about wholeness, right? It's about like a ship's integrity. If the ship's integrity is compromised, it means there's leaks in the hull and there's water coming in, right? And so it's like you are whole. There are no leaks. There's no wasted energy either coming in or going out. And you are like that hunter focus on what you're doing. It's like, yeah, I'm not even sure what else to say because it's so self-evident. Your heart is your authority. Jaguar does not need to ask permission. Jaguar does not need to justify herself. She does not need to make excuses. Her heart is her authority. She is the sovereign. She is the top of the circle of life. And again, like I was saying earlier, her well-being feeds the well-being of every other being on that circle of life, right? When she hunts, her heart guides her to hunt the slowest or the sickest or the oldest, right? And therefore, by seeing to her own, feeding her own well-being, she is boosting the well-being of the herd because she's taking out the ones that might spread disease or that might slow down the rest of the herd. So she's strengthening the herd's health, which goes into the foliage and the vegetation, into all the rest, all the way around the circle until it comes back to her. So again, and this is something else we've talked about, you are your first priority. No one else matters as much as you. And it doesn't mean it's me versus you. It's not me over you. It's my well-being, because my heart is sovereign. I am sovereign in my life. My heart tells me what is good for me. If it's good for me, it's also good for the well-being of everyone around me, because we are all connected. When we all do better, we all do better, right? You can't help someone. You can't, like Abraham Hicks said, you can't get poor enough to help someone out of poverty. You can't get sick enough to help someone who's ill. The only way to help others is to come from a place of empowerment, integrity, right? You don't jump in to rescue a drowning person. You throw them something from solid ground, right? You have your own footing first, and that's where you come from for help, because otherwise you're not helping, right? So, anything else, Jaguar? The other thing Jaguar wants to say, again, it's like kudos to you, because Jaguar's world is a sensuous one. Every hair on a cat's body is a whisker. That's how sensitive they are to their environment. They feel every slight temperature change, every slight air movement, every piece of grass that they walk through, whatever. They live as though they're making love to the world, to the earth, to the jungle, wherever they are. And it's kind of like, I'm just observing from the outside, that's the way it appears to me when I see you. That would make sense to me. It's like living your life in a sensual way, where you are in love with, making love with your world as you walk through it. So I hope that is helpful. All right. Sherry. Card number 5. Ba 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 dum ba da ba ba dum ba dum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba da bum ba dum ba dum ba dum da 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 dum ba dum ba da ba dum ba da da bum ba dum ba da ba dum. Fresh out of the pan, sweet gingerbread man. All right. So card number 5 for Sherry. All right, Sherry. You got our good old friend Prairie Dog. And Prairie Dog is about retreat. So this fits in with every single other card I've drawn tonight. This is the introvert who needs to retreat. Prairie Dog is about retreating. It's like when the world becomes overwhelming, you have to retreat. Prairie dogs have special chambers in their vast prairie dog towns underground. They have chambers where the individual prairie dogs can go and hang out all by themselves to rejuvenate, to get a sense of their own energy without the influence of anybody else's. So they have that baseline. They know what their energy is and when someone else's energy is coming at them. Because in order to be a good citizen, prairie dogs have very intricate communities. And to be a member of such a close-knit community, each individual has to be at their best and highest well-being, right? And so to do that, each individual prairie dog has to know who they are outside of the community. And so when things are confusing, when things don't make sense, again, this is just like all the other ones I pulled tonight. Like when you start not feeling good, and when I say that, I mean when you start to kick yourself or judge yourself or feel less than, those feelings don't need to be fixed. Those feelings are like the rumble strips on the side of the road that tell you you're veering off of center. So when you feel those things, when you're off center, when you're grumpy or anxious or whatever, that's the rumble strip on the side of the road telling you, oh, you gotta bring it back to center, right? And one way of doing that is with prairie dog is retreating away from the, Joe just yelled he loves that. What part did he love? The rumble strips? So when the world is too overwhelming, we're not doing our community any good by just staying there and pushing through. It's like our whole society focuses on pushing through. If it's hard, push through. No pain, no gain. I even had a shamanic teacher one time that my guides were guiding me to leave this course. I even did a shamanic journey about it where my guide showed me if I stayed in this course, it was going to be like coming up against a stone like going into a cave and up against a stone wall, like no movement. There was no moving forward. And that was pretty obvious to me, especially when they showed me that if I left the class, I would be soaring. And so it was like, you know, of course that's the message, right? But even my shamanic teacher was like, I think you should journey again and find out what's behind that wall, what's stopping you, what's holding you back. And I'm like, okay, you are no longer my teacher, because I would never guide a student of mine to do that. Undermine a student's own guidance from their guides and such. And so it's like, when you hit that wall, it's time to turn around. You don't have to keep hitting your head against the wall, hoping that one of these times it's going to break through. And the thing is, too, like another thing that Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about is that obstacles are never in the way of your path. Sometimes the obstacles divert you better, clearer onto your path, and sometimes the obstacles are the path. But so when you hit that resistance, when you're not feeling at your best and things are just swirling, alignment, breathe, meditate, check out for a little bit, do something mindless, Netflix and chill, whatever, read a book, go for a walk, recenter yourself, and then come back to look at it with a more open mind, okay? And I know you just we had a text conversation earlier today, so without spilling what was in the text, I hope that kind of helped answer. I think that's why this came up. And the fact that it came up upright tells me that you're doing it, right? That you're figuring it out. So I hope that helps, Sherry. All right, my friend Nadia, I'm so glad you're here. I miss you. All right. Card number 6 for those who are painting by number. Da, 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 da. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. Okay. Nadia, you're welcome, Sherry. Nadia, you got grouse in reverse? Grouse is the spiral dance. When grouse dance, they dance and they drum. So maybe you need to go to a drum circle or something, but they drum their wings and they dance in a circle, in a spiral. And so they embody, if you know about fractals, right, how the spiral is one of the oldest sacred symbols we have. And everything exists in a spiral of some sort, from the biggest super galaxies to hurricanes and storms, to pine cones and seashells, and down even to our DNA, right? That sacred spiral. And so it's about, it's like in reverse, it's like a loss of vitality on some level, and the need to bring that vitality back, to jumpstart whatever needs to be jump-started. And again, this fits so well with all the other cards tonight. You could almost call grouse the thunderbird, because when they beat their wings, when they drum their wings, they actually create the same phenomenon as thunder. They beat their wings in a way that creates this vacuum in the air, and then the air rushes back boom, boom. And it's, if you're in the woods when they're drumming, it's not so much that you hear it as you feel it. And so it's thunder, it's lightning, it's the heartbeat, right? And so it's, the message I'm getting is that, again, like a lot of the other ones, it can be kind of an overwhelmed feeling, too much going on, getting too lost in the outside world, needing to come back into the eye of the storm, right? Like with everything else tonight, find your alignment. Make sure you're spending enough time with yourself, with your own energy, so that you have that baseline to check in with when you're out doing your thing. It's like, it feels like you're spreading yourself too thin, and like you're in a centrifuge, right? And you're stuck up against the wall of the centrifuge. You can't move, and you're like squeezing, getting thinner and thinner, squeezed. It's time to find your own heartbeat, your own drum beat, and to, again, it comes back to joy. Whatever makes you feel joyful. That is the priority, because when you're joyful, how do I put this? How do I explain? You know, we did a couple of years ago, no, a few years ago now, there were a number of ceremonies here in Puget Sound about like to benefit the ocean and the coastline, and I was involved in creating a ceremony for to bless the salmon, right? And so we did this beautiful ceremony. I made a mask and everything. I wore a mask and I danced the salmon. And when we got done with that ceremony, it was like beforehand, everyone was kind of like, what are we going to do? Everything's hopeless. We're never going to be able to fix the world. I don't know what to do. At the end of that ceremony, everyone was laughing. They were joyful and optimistic. And so maybe nothing we did in that ceremony actually changed the circumstances in the world, but it changed the heartbeat of the people in that vicinity, which made them bring more energy. Again, that alignment, it helped to align them with their own joy, to know that there is never a point that is hopeless. There is never a place for despair, that there is always hope, that there is always a way, there is always a harmonious solution to every problem. So find that joy. Don't sacrifice your joy for the sake of your work or your job or whatever it is that you're spending too much of your time with, if that makes sense. Your joy is the most important. Your name means hope. See, there's always hope. Yeah, you're one of the most hopeful people I know. So don't sacrifice, don't compromise your own joy for the sake of what you're doing, because what you're doing will suffer more than you will if you're not bringing that joy into it. You know, who was it that Seth, I think it was one of the Seth books, Seth, who was another channeled being, he said, if it's not fun, don't do it. And of course there's different levels of fun, there's different, you know, not everything is, you know, there are things we have to do that we might not, that might not be that fun, but it's kind of like watching the, what do you call it, stock markets up and down, right? Might not be fun this moment, but then it'll be fun. It's like if you take the overall trend, you want to be moving toward fun, moving toward joy, okay? And if you can, physically dance, right? Yes, I know what you mean, deeply feeling the shift to move inward this time of the year. And traditionally, this is the time of the year when there were stories and parties and dances and movement, not outward, but within the smaller community, right? We come indoors and we'd celebrate each other. We would dance and we would sing. We would tell stories, right? And so bring in whatever joy into that, you know, whatever pilot light is still lit to get you through the dark part of the year. Keep filling that with the joys, whatever little joys, like Tess used to say at Stargazers. You know, she would get up and she was like, okay, universe, I'm ready for at least 3 happy surprises today. And then you look for those happy surprises. That is your priority that day. Other things get done, but the whole time you're doing other things, you're watching for those happy surprises that light up your heart, you know. One of my favorite books, I think it's called Frederick. I've got it over there. And it's about these mice, and they're doing all this thing, they're getting this harvest, so they have enough food and water and everything they need, and insulation for the winter time. Meanwhile, Frederick is just sitting there in the sun with his eyes closed, like, what are you doing? And he was soaking up the sunlight so that he had light to share come the dark winter nights. And he shared that sunlight in the form of stories and reminding people what it was like in the summertime when all around them everything was dead or lifeless, right? So bring that life, bring that thunder into the dark part of the year with you. Don't let the darkness dim your light. Sometimes we need the darkness in order to see the light more brightly, right? So I hope that helps. I love that your name means hope. I didn't know that. I love that. All right, my friends, one more card for everyone, regardless of whether you had a reading or not. You're so welcome, Nadia. And if you enjoyed this, if you would like a full reading with me, you can visit my website at perchingwolfstudios.net. You can see all the various shamanic services I offer, teaching and mentoring and readings and healings. And it's a good time of the year to start gift shopping. So I also do gift certificates if you would like to give someone the gift of insight for the holidays. You can get, or healing, you can get a gift certificate for the appropriate amount for a hour reading, or for a hour healing, or soul retrieval, which is a little bit more. But yeah, and I also, if you look on my website, I've got a number of graphic novels. I'm a cartoonist. I think I mentioned that earlier. And I have a number of my comics and graphic novels available. And as well as I made a couple of little coloring books that are perfect for kids of all ages. One of them is the Animal Spirit Guide Alphabet Coloring book, something like that. And it's an ABC book. It's an alphabet book, and each letter has a different animal, and it's got a poem that runs through the whole thing. Maybe I'll read it, part of it, to you next week. And each letter has a different animal to color, and it's got a little poem about that animal's medicine. And then special for Christmas, I actually have a little coloring book I made. It's the 12 Totems of Christmas. And for each of the 12 days of Christmas, I took the song 12 Days of Christmas and figured out if it wasn't already explicitly an animal, what animal would fulfill that gift. And so I have the 12 totems of Christmas. It's like each of the 12 days has an animal to color and a little blurb about what that animal's medicine and what that gift actually is. So check that out. And also, if you would like to support your friendly neighborhood shaman, I have a comment pinned to the top of the comments with my tip jar that has my PayPal and Venmo information that you can donate. I gladly and deeply appreciate anything that you have to give me. I will also share this video to my Facebook page, and I will upload it to my YouTube channel. So that's another place you can hang out with me. You can watch over 3 years worth of these videos of readings and ceremonies and stories and songs, etc. So check that out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like my videos. And anything else? I think that's about it for this week. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for spending the evening with me. And I think that's our card. So Raven jumped out of the deck. And Raven is pure, unmitigated, bibbity, bobbity, boo, sparkly, fairy godmother magic. When Raven pops up, anything is possible. I was talking earlier about the masculine and the feminine. The black shimmering feathers of Raven are like the black shimmering night sky, space, infinity, the void, the cosmic womb of the cosmic mother where all things exist in potentiality. And like Raven, who stole fire from the sun to bring to the earth so that we could have light and heat and could see each other and stop tripping over each other, you get to decide what you're bringing out of that void into the light of day. You are the fire bringers. Everything always works out for you because anything and everything is possible in every moment. Miracles happen. Look for them. Expect miracles. Know that they are all around you. And that, again, nothing is hopeless. Nothing is ever done. There is always hope. There is always time. Everything always works out. Believe in yourself. Believe in the part of you that is still, we have our physical selves, our spiritual selves, and there's the part of us that is still connected to Creator, source energy, right? So, anything is possible. You can create any miracles you want, all right? So, thank you. So, again, I will share this to my Facebook page, and I will also have all the information with my PayPal and everything if you feel like giving and supporting your friendly neighborhood shaman this holiday season. I thank you so much, and I thank you for your energy and your presence here tonight. It's always a joy. It's always something I look forward to. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next week. Invite your friends. Please share this video. And until I see you again, know that I love you. that I see you and that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Go shining. Bye.